Hello everyone, I am Bigtonney, and as you can see on screen, this is a post-tournament podcast about Viennality. Here with me, I have a few guests to talk about the tournament and how everything went. And I am here with BuzzerZero and Toffel. So,
That's me.
Hi.
hi. So, the first thing I wanna talk about is how was the tournament in general to start things off? Like a general overview, raw impression.
You mean the whole event?
Yes, the whole event in general, without thinking of anything specific.
Whole event as a whole is great. It's first of all in a place that we are not used to be for fighting game events. We are in a pretty classy old Viennese building style place. So we have those fancy stairs, which is quite a good feeling, to be
Yes.
honest. Rooms are big. We got way more room than last year, so this is a huge improvement because last year the venue was quite small. But here we got 2 floors. One floor was filled with Smash players, and
Yes.
also had there were many places to play casuals. Also, we have to note the Skullgirls stations, which is something we almost never see at events.
Yeah.
And there was a few PlayStations with Skullgirls on it, just for us.
Yeah.
That's
Just for us, and it was
Yeah.
super pleasant to see that we didn't had to use our setups to play a tournament, which is the first time it happened ever.
We used my PlayStation for the tournament because it was the first one there. Like
Yeah,
when
exactly.
the TTO came and say, "This PlayStation, we take it."
Yeah.
But yeah, we could have done everything. I mean, of course, well, we bring our own stuff, so we have systems, but having more and is really comfortable, and also you can have people who are not the usual Skullgirls players who can play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Toffel, do you want to say something right now?
I want to say that it was very fun to me. The venue was great. The only thing that was missing was like an air conditioner because it was getting really hot in there. But
Yeah.
it was really big. Like you said, we had a lot of setups, we had a lot of space. We even had like almost an extra room just for Skullgirls, which was insane.
It felt like it indeed, because we stayed a very long time in this room, and
Yeah.
that was just a casual room.
Yeah. For and overall, really great and positive feedback. So, Bozo already talked about Vienna a little bit. How was the city? How was the location of the event? And the event was basically right at in the middle of the main course of the city. The main.
It's in city center,
Yes,
and
exactly.
it's in a place. It's in a region full of with plenty of tourists, because nearby you have the Museum of National History,
Yeah.
the History Museum, and parks, and also you have the entrance of Meyer-Hilferstraße, which is a, a, a long
Main shopping street.
main shopping pedestrian street. So
And
it's not in the middle of nowhere. It's
yes,
right in the city.
and really easy to get access to the event. Like it was literally one street away from the tram station, from the underground station.
Yeah.
which was
And also, this station is also close enough to the airport
Yeah.
station. So, like when you arrive to the station from the airport, you need like two subway trains, 3 stops in total, and that's enough. You're already in the venue.
Yes, exactly.
That's
And
great, and we have to say that Viennese transportation is great.
yes.
So and no and
Before before
quite
we have
cheap
to
compared
do
to other
everything,
cities.
before we have to do everything again, let me check if we are actually recording. So
Sure.
instead of repeating ourselves over and over, let me see, because I don't want to be like okay, yes, apparently it's recording, so we should be
Apparently.
we should be good at the end of this 1 hour ish podcast that I think it's gonna be quite long. Eventually we will have a video and not like we will have a long chat between 3 people, so and we would have to do that again. Okay, so yeah, the place was great, and the venue itself was really good, and so let's talk about the games. What would you play at Viennality? So
Skullgirls.
of course we had Skullgirls. The main event, one of the main games was various versions of Mortal Kombat. You could play Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 10, XL, like Mortal Kombat XL and the original
Oh
Mortal
yeah.
Kombat.
They even had Mortal Kombat arcade stations.
Yes,
That was
yes.
sick.
It was
With a hap joystick and buttons, so that's pretty the original stuff.
yeah. It was cool to see people stopping by, and it really gave this retro feeling. I really liked
That's
it.
pretty cool to enter a venue and having 2 arcade booths,
Yes.
like a real one of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and a fake one with. I mean, when I say fake one, it's because it's Mortal Kombat 11 with a PlayStation on the side, but it's still an arcade booth presentation. And also, I mean, we will mention that more later, but the main room for the main stage was sick.
Yes, yes,
Sick room. Huge room. There was even this huge a monster logo, a monster logo on top, and plenty of seats. Good mood. A giant screen on up ahead, and a piano. A piano on this corner. Extra Vienna touch. Extra Viennese touch.
The piano on the stage was pretty sick. Oh, there was like also the entire event was sponsored by Monster, so there was like Monster advertisement everywhere, and in front of the venue there was like an actual monster truck.
Oh yeah, I've actually recorded a video about this track when they put some dubstep music, and while I was recording they lowered down the volume and they turned it off, so I was really sad about it, but it was really cool because you had like this huge historical old-fashioned building and a monster truck with like huge speakers and putting bass music, and it was really funny.
They were also giving away some stickers and selling some goods. And selling hot dogs and drinks on the venue.
Oh yeah.
The gourmet
apparently
hot
the
dogs.
hot dogs The hot dogs look pretty decent. I couldn't eat them.
Yes, I've tried one, and
They're good. They were good.
for the price, they're super good hot dogs.
Yeah.
They're not cheap. They're really high quality for what they are. All right.
Mm.
So we mentioned Mortal Kombat, and let's briefly list all the games. So
Well, Tekken.
we had Tekken. We had Under Night in Birth. We had Guilty Gear.
No, there were
sorry.
no Guilty.
Sorry. No Guilty Gear. That was like the only
Oh,
game
yeah.
that we didn't saw, and it was really strange. Of course.
It feels strange, especially since there is there is a guilty
right?
community in Vienna, but I believe that the guilty players want to favorize other events, but that's something to ask them.
Yes, of course.
Like I know that last year guilty was not really big in last year Viennality. Also, there was Million Arthur Arcane of Blood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
I've
a
already
very-
played that one.
Very niche game,
Yes.
and
Every
it's-
game, let's mention that every game got top 8 or best streamed on the main stage. That was really huge.
top 8 or top 4
Yes, top 8 or top 4.
like us, and yeah, and so even Arthur was on main stage, you say?
Yes. On
Yeah, and
Sunday morning.
that is really good as well, because we had our top 4 for a game who had 10 or 11 people only.
11 players, 12 entrants. So yeah.
And we still had the main stage for top 4 with really good stream production and the opportunity for me and Toffel to commentate in such conditions, which is a pretty good experience because it feels more professional.
Indeed, like the commentator's booth was insane. There were like really comfortable chairs, the lighting was professional, there was like this guy with this really expensive camera.
I mean, for BB Tag, the guys were just laying back and watching the screen upstairs. They watching the big screen.
It was very comfortable, and I think the microphone quality was also pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we had this, and then later was Tekken and MK11, who are huge. So we had the same scene as them before, and that feels so good.
Yes.
You feel like even if your game is small, you're still important.
You get to step on the big stage, and you're not like left aside, which really it's not that nice to be, even if we do our best, and the TO is really willing us to be greater and have more people, and so let's do that.
That's because it shows that with good management, you can do that. Of course, it's something impossible to do in larger events who have countless number of games. But in an event like that, with I forgot the number of games, but
12.
it's still possible to
12 games.
to do this. Yeah, like
Really-
at least
really
give a top 4. Top 4 pretty fast.
Yes, top 4 are usually fast for anime standards. So
Yeah.
okay. So now that we mentioned the games a bit, I think all top 8 and the final set were really hype among all games. I couldn't stay there for too long because I had to leave the venue sooner, but from what I saw, I think every game was like really good sets among the various games.
I mean, the crowd was on fire.
Yeah, the
so
crowd was really into it.
I went to see Tekken Grand Finals, and I ended up being ultra hyped for a player I don't even know.
Yeah.
And I was screaming and shouting, "Hey, hey!" for each combo.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic.
Mhm.
That it's just fantastic. I believe that having a room with a dimmed light like this, a dark room, helps people to unleash themselves
Yeah.
and get hype easier. I say this because in our first event ever, Revo 2016, we were we were quite packed actually, because there were seats and there were stations on the sides of people training for the next event, next tournament, and everything was illuminated. And Tony and I were the hype guys.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, if we wouldn't be there, I can assure you that the crowd would have been less hype, because we were hype and
Or even quiet. Can you
we,
imagine?
we raised the volume.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And that started the entire SG hype that now is standard. Like people
Absolutely.
do get loud by nature. You don't even need to initiate things. So
SG is just a really hype and loud game.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
I mean it's a loud inducing game.
yeah.
The game is loud only the first time you turn it on Steam, where you have 100 volume and you're gonna get blasted by the game intro. That's the only moment where the game is loud, but other than that. Okay, so now that we mentioned Skullgirls, let's talk about the tournament, starting from the pools. I have Smash GG on my hand and with the bracket, so let me read up the results. So let's briefly talk about the various matches that we've been through, and we can stop by ones that we want. So on the winners, round 1, we had Ravioli against Toffel, which went 3-0. Can you talk about this set, or because I couldn't be there watching.
So the set pretty much. I already felt like, since we both played Point Fortune, that the set would go in a way where like the first person who gets hit actually wins.
Yeah.
That's so
And-
interesting.
And so what I actually tried, the first round start was meeting Ravioli's H fiber because I thought he would do it, but I messed up the timing, so I ended up getting hit instead,
Ah.
which gave me like a huge morality debuff already. I think like in each game my fortune died off very quickly, and I also dropped a lot of combos, which I'm like pretty known for, but it was my first offline, and I guess it was like a lot of tournament nerves because I don't think I got, or like almost didn't get a single combo down.
Yeah. And that's something that people, when they do the huge jump from offline to online, from online to offline, is that they have to realize that their opponent is next to them, and you really put on the spotlight, and feeling the pressure is something that you have to get used to it, and you can't practice in training mode, you see.
Yeah. Otherwise, I feel like I should have played more confidently and should have been more confident in my skills and my setups.
which is usually the advice you give to people. Try to be more confident and relax. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So next up.
Pretty much. Okay.
You wanna something to say?
I just wanted to say that like the first two games I kind of got booty blasted. The last game was very close actually. So yeah.
All right. Next up we have I forgot to read the sponsor or the team name. We had Amar Ravioli against Toffel. Now we have VDV BuzzerZero against what's that? Yeet.
Yule, let's call him Yule.
Yeah.
Since his challenge he adds an L, making it easier to say.
Yeah.
So so for this set, which surprised everybody, my explanation for this, because believe me, there is a rational explanation, is just I was not ready for it. I had my personal life has been stressful and tiring, let's say, those past weeks, and by experience I do know that this is not good for a tournament, because then an event is something really tiring. You must you must have slept well, basically, before an event, because it's a lot of games, a lot of noise, a lot of people, and like here, a lot of heat.
Yes.
As well, and also, yeah, I have to. Toffel mentioned the heat, and I'm about to mention it, and I'm not using this as a lame excuse. I'm serious about it. The heat was a huge problem for me, and because first of all, those summer in Vienna where in some days, we got a heat wave in Europe, right? But
yes.
Since I landed the foot on Vienna, I always had scorching summers with very humid temperatures, and some days are really hard to handle for me. So it's even worse if I'm not in my best conditions.
Yes.
Let's say that, and so to be fair, if I was more relaxed, like if I was more relaxed the past days, I would have handled this way better. Like I would have said, oh, it's hot, etc. It wouldn't have been such thing. And in the end, I was not focused at all, which, to be honest, impressed me. It really did. Like I was playing my set, and I saw that I was not reading his game. I was not being creative, anything. I was like, whoa, okay. And I looked at Yule's face, and I saw that he was focused.
Yeah.
So that's a difference,
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I was like, oh, okay, it's gone. I was a bit away. Completely. That some days are like this. It's not the first time it happens to me to a tournament. It does suck, but if I can't be good for the game, I can't force myself anymore.
That's right.
I see.
Understandable. So I didn't saw much about that one either, aside of the final game.
I just saw your sad face when I lost.
Yes, I was kind of sad about it, but hey, always
That's
here
okay.
to support my brother.
That's fine.
Yeah. So next up we have Rex against Reb 46, which never happened because Reb got DQ'd because he couldn't be there because he was sick, and so he wouldn't be able to show up at Viennality, and everyone was really sorry about it, and
Yeah.
we do hope that he is gonna feel better soon and stay strong.
Yeah.
So that will lead Rex to the next round against Big Ben Pro 69. And the final set of winners is gonna be Bombad against Beat by 38, as known as Ako. Yeah, that's the team, team name. And so Ako is actually a Street Fighter player, which played also Unist and Tekken, and so he pretty much entered every game he recently played, and he was a Valentine Beowulf player with a really interesting team. I think he was playing medium blitzer assist, which is which is something that was super surprising for me. It was like this upward DP with no invisibility. It was really funny to look at. But he was matched against Bombard, who is super experienced and strong, so the match went 3-0 for him, for Bombard.
I have to, since you mentioned Bombard, I really have to give I mean, I'm not an English native, so I think it's called shout out, but to mention that Bombard is a wonderful person, because he's a kind of guy who, whether he loses or he wins, he's the same.
Yeah. He's always so cheerful, so happy. You never see him sad or disappointed or anything.
No, absolutely. He's not. He won't be. Like super upset of losing, or bragging for winning. Etc. Nothing.
But he's also really, really focused during a match.
Yes.
And like, when I play him, like I look to his face and I just see him thinking. He's doing the thinking emoji. Going like,
Amazing.
And that's really good.
Yes, that's really good indeed. So
seeking Bomb Dub.
Alright, so winners quarters finals. We're gonna have the seeded people. So
Yep.
Ravioli moving up against Nephros, and this is I would say the most important set of entire Viennality.
It is actually
The biggest upset. Ravioli pulled up the magic trick, which was this beat extend counter pick, which was on paper, if you now, the more you think about it, it's really simple, but in the entire history of Skullgirls Europe, nobody was actually able to do it, like to commit to it. Yes, you see.
So Ravioli was doing this to Nephros before. Like, this is not the first time this happened. He did this to him in offline tournaments. I mean, in online tournaments. And I'm surprised that Nephros hasn't adapted yet. But I mean, he didn't play Skullgirls for a long time.
That's true.
Yeah. Actually, it feels like Nephros was a bit disconnected from Skullgirls, let's say.
Yeah.
I mean, a bit like me, actually. I was not really into Skullgirls those past weeks, and Nephros was playing different games as well.
And you could see, as soon as Ravioli picked beat extend, like Nephros played way more carefully. He like didn't do his game. He was scared of beat extend.
Yeah. Usually, if Nephros goes like rushes, everything is fine. Let's say
Yes.
he doesn't necessarily rush, but if he doesn't care, everything will be fine.
Yes, exactly. That's what he says actually. The less he thinks, the better it goes, because
Yeah.
he saves brain power to do resets and everything, and just the entire offense gets autopilot because he's basically rushing in, doing high low, left right, whatever, covered by squiggly assist. So there is nothing much to be worried about matchup experience or whatever. You apply this general rule to everything and you get to grand finals. But he couldn't, thanks to Ravioli and his amazing beat extend calls. So many happy birthdays. That was one of the few matches where we saw so many assist kills, which was really cool, really hype. We saw that happen. We saw that happen, and everyone was really into it.
Plus, if you play a duo, that's terrible. If you play a duo and you get double snapped, you lose a great advantage.
Yes.
Like in a trio, you can afford it, but not
playing duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this tournament was a duo domination.
Duo domination.
Again.
Domination.
Yeah. I felt like people were more into trio in general. I mean, it depends, but
yes.
For this one, it was duo.
Yes.
It was not good to be a trio. So in some cases.
Yeah.
I say in some cases because Ravioli played in a trio.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly.
And moving on, we got Sanji against Yu, which was really straightforward set. Instead, usually Sanji is really solid right off the bat, and you just couldn't take this huge wall of neutral, let's call it, that Sanji is able to throw at you. And
I mean, I don't believe you can. I don't think playing solo against Sanji is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. I did that a bit. It works sometimes, but it's a really it's a really heavy task to do, to play. But if you get really good openings and you are patient enough to see the openings through Sanji's game plan, you mean, you can make it work. But again, you wasn't prepared for it, apparently, and
he was preparing himself against me, basically.
Yes.
That's for sure.
So next up we have Big Ben Pro 69 against Rex, and
was it on stream?
I think it was.
No, I mean, I don't know, because I don't remember this game.
I don't remember that either, but I think I saw the two guys play, or it was casual. I don't remember. By the way, the score says 3-0, but it was a close set, memes aside, because the two guys do play a lot each other, and really two experienced players that know each other well, so they're gonna see them play often. But Big Ben Pro was already in the game, and his offense was really on point throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah.
And then there is me against Bombard, which the score said 3-0, but by the time Bombard was adapting more and more, and the first game felt really solid for me, my opinion. I try to stay as much solid as possible and don't commit too much and defeat the characters one by one and don't be worried about the assist as long as they're in cooldown. And the second match was where I did a cool green parry to Seracopter, which did nothing, and he actually killed my big band. So that's a problem of me that you actually asked me if I was styling on him, if I was miming. I said no, absolutely. You don't try to meme on a tournament, especially if that's the first match you play, because everything will go down the line if you're not focused. And I do think that if Bombad had a few more games to work around, like if Bombad took the first game, it would have been 3-2 for him. I don't know, but the score isn't telling the entire truth.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
Next.
moving up next, do we talk about losers or we move on to winner semis?
We can talk quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, so losers round 1, Bombad against Toffel, 3-2 for Toffel. Congrats, well done.
Thanks.
Like I
really
said, Bombad super strong player, and I really did want to see you do some work in the tournament. Which congratulations, you secured your first top 8 to a tournament. You're like one of the few people that are like the first tournament they get top 8, which is sick. Just like
I was really hoping not to leave quote unquote empty-handed out of this tournament.
Yeah, you did well.
And it went really even. Like all the matches were really close. Almost all of the matches were timeouts too.
Whoa, yeah, it was one of the longest sets.
Yeah, it was insanely long, and I blame my Peacock zoning for that.
Definitely.
I mean, in my casual set with Bombad, we got a lot of long matches.
Yeah,
So I really don't know why.
Yeah, Bombad has the tendency to play defensively as possible until Fortune gets killed or leaves the screen, because he likes to sit behind the 2 assists, and you don't need to force things. I mean, you have a DP and a lockdown assist, so
he takes a lot of cautions with Bella. So he's not like Ranger who will jump into you and you're dead. So he with Bella he takes a lot of tries to approach you, and he doesn't go blind.
he is not overly aggressive.
And I think actually that's what killed him in the set versus me, because I won with Peacock. And if you don't get in versus Peacock, you lose.
Yeah, so he didn't commit to. He didn't commit enough. That's what. Yeah, I see.
That makes sense.
Yes.
On top of that, I play Peacock with H fiber, which is kind of a really big wall as an assist.
Great shell, yeah.
It is.
And it's really hard to get through.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% sure that this is the thing that won me the set in the end, because it always boiled down to him zoning out for a while.
Yeah. Which is part of the game. I mean, you can be going in always be going in, or Can
But
always
it's
be
true
going
that
out.
it's true that you must rush into a peacock. Um,
Definitely.
like you must not you must chase her. When you are not used to do it, you die, and or they know that you will rush, so they play with that.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you wait, you're gonna die from cheap at least.
Yes. And so Toffel moves on. Then we got Rex against BuzzerZero.
That's
3-1.
3-1 for Rex, so I won the first round.
Okay.
Then Rex, after Rex won the second one, I decided to take my Walkman and put my earbuds to isolate a bit of the sound next to me
Mm-hmm.
and put a song, hoping it would help me to maybe more focused, but that didn't work.
Mm.
Uh, I really don't remember much. I remember way more of my casual set I had at night with him the same day, but I don't remember the tournament match. I really
I
don't.
see. I see.
I think he just like if I was trying to do a headless setup, he would row tag double. That was
Yeah.
the
The
best
king of
weapon.
Rotag. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean French power.
Yeah, French power.
Yeah, I feel
And
like Rex is like checking people with raw tags,
yeah, the tag
see if
check.
you
That
actually block.
that's the thing. You usually say when at the end of the day you wanna explain few words about Skullgirls neutral is that you wanna check with your best pokes. You as a squiggly, for example, really briefly, you wanna jump right kick check, you wanna jump heavy punch check, and
Yeah.
crouch medium kick check. That's all the checks that you have to address at any point, and that's how you play neutral with buttons. That's how you play with buttons. And Rex will just simply rotag check anywhere on the screen. So you really have to pay attention to that.
Or may I say, you crouch medium punch check with Squiggly, and you will be surprised that it hits.
Yes, yes,
That's a surprising move. It's just because he has good reach and it's fast.
yes.
So even if it's a mid,
Yeah,
like you do it and it hits. Wow,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
Crouch heavy punch into
Oh yeah,
combos.
crouch medium punch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Also, crouch medium punch is like an ghetto anti-air.
yeah, you have like
I like that.
yeah, really cool move. So up next we have you automatically moving on because Reb was DQ'd, and Nephros making a quick work of Akko. He basically told me that he didn't let him play, so he got
Yeah, that's
Nephros.
so
What's he gonna do?
Pretty much. Get Valentine.
Yeah, you got Valentine. Alright, so losers round 2. We got Toffel against Rex.
Yep.
Rex won 3-0. Can you talk about?
I think I was like some of the matches at least like two of the matches I remember correctly were going pretty close, and I was kind of choking at the end or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember when we finished the set and I like was doing my killing combo, I dropped it and then Rex killed me for it, and he was like turning around to me and was like, Toffel, get your shit together, man.
Yeah,
that-
yeah. I can imagine how things went in my head. You had like Rex. Let me pick up my stick, being like, Toffel, what
Yeah.
the fuck are you doing, dude?
And that basically summed up the entire set. I don't think I ever won a set against Rex. He's
No.
a pretty solid player.
Yeah,
But
and
it could have went way better.
yeah, I think experience played a huge part of it because Rex is an offline veteran.
Yeah.
And you were the underdog with the crowd hype, but you weren't powered up enough.
I was winning against Rex in a time he was not playing Skullgirls much. So I remember that I was no longer seeing him playing it, and as a result, I won two different events against him. And it was a time where he was more into different games, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like it felt like he was taking a bit of a break with Skullgirls, which I don't know if Tony did, but I did. And so that makes sense because after he came back, playing more the game and changing what was wrong and winning again.
Yes.
And as you say, the offline veteran, we should mention that he's the guy who always brings Skullgirls everywhere he goes. So
Yes.
Yeah.
he goes to the maximum number of events he can, and he brings Skullgirls there. So
Yes.
if there was Skullgirls at SN Crash, that's because of him. At the mix-up was because of him. At Button Check was because of him.
Really,
That's
huge pillar of this community since the Skullheart era, the Skullheart days in 2013-14. So yeah, you gotta give it up to Rex. Shout out to Rex. You're an awesome dude, and
Yeah.
you,
Great guy. Great server mod.
yeah,
Daddy Rex.
Daddy Rex, second greatest boomer of our community. You gotta good shot, and that's it. And for Toffel against Rex. And now here's the second most surprising match of the set. You against Nephros. So you really did so much work nobody would ever expect. Even if he got even if he didn't got a single game out of him, but his matches were so much close. He was really throwing at full force his misfortune against Nephros, and he was overwhelmed at first, showing that Nephros was having a tough time remembering how to play Skullgirls a little bit.
So at Sunday I was like playing a casual set versus you, and I think he actually got like first 2-3 games of me, and I was like really surprised because he actually improved a lot, and it took me like, I don't know, 5 games to download him, and that would have been like too late in a tournament.
Yes, in a tournament setting you really do have to adapt fast. Even during a match is really important to adapt fast, quickly.
Oh, what the heck?
Sorry. So I think now you can hear yourself a little bit. I will try to fix it soon. So now we got winners semifinals, right?
You mean for the pools?
Yes. We
Well,
ravioli.
actually, we have to mention that on stream we almost only got ravioli. He ended up in most stream matches, so it was his time.
This was kind of really his time.
We even got a dab from ravioli.
Oh yeah, the FGC millennial.
Yes. Somebody we don't know clipped that and called it FGC Millennium.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's the name of the clip.
Good guy Twitch chat.
What's our next
So,
point?
moving on. Sorry guys, I'm gonna make noise for the last time because I had to unplug my headset.
Alright.
Okay, so for the winner semis, we got Ravioli versus Sanji 3-2. And this was actually a really weird set.
So yeah, I believe that Ravioli changed team, right? He went right. I mean,
Yeah,
he dropped Fortune, right?
Yes.
He did counter big.
Yes.
Because I wanted to see what he would do with Fortune against Sanji, but then I saw him switching, and I said, "Oh, that's it's like is Fortune cursed against Sanji?"
Yes. There is no much data for you Fortune players, unfortunately.
Was this the match where he switched to his old team?
That was in top 4, I believe.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think he did it later. Yeah, on the main stage.
Yeah, he did. He did switch to Robo.
And Filia, and he played the Filia team again, which I was really happy to see because that's like the Ravioli I know, the Ravioli I would cheer, and the Ravioli that almost beat every time I played him. So I really want him to be improved as a player because honestly, this is really personal talk, but I don't think that the Fortune team, like, you can play Fortune and you can also play Filia. Find a way to play them both, so you can be always going in, you know. Be creepy.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, the problem with Fortune in general is you can easily be predictable. So, I mean, head on Fortune, obviously. So what you have to do is to be more unpredictable, and it's what Ravioli was playing on actually.
Mm-hmm.
There are like myself when I go with Fortune, I go more for okay, I try this reset, blah blah blah, and not like I feel I dropped the chain. Oh no, I didn't. It's a reset.
Yeah.
And Americans play like that actually, so I think it's actually, since Fortune doesn't do good damage, it feels like it's a good way to play. It's you must give a headache to your enemy.
Yeah.
I mean, Fortune does decent damage in my opinion.
Okay.
Like, I don't have numbers in my hand, but I think that full combos do hurt. Her meter does hurt. And,
yeah, they do.
And overall, the character doesn't miss damage-wise. It might be hard to have a constant damage output during the match because Miss Fortune, by being an air dasher, she does try to burst people down, like doing 5k damage, boom, reset, 5k damage, boom, you're dead. That's how kinda she plays. by being a nerd.
Maybe what lacks Fortune is the your mind bitch effect,
Yeah, you're right.
which Fukua has definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Fuqua, she doesn't only have you, but she has everything, and she's like, she's one of the strongest character in the game. In a game where every character is the strongest character in the game, so yeah.
Hmm.
In my opinion. That's how the nature of the game goes, so yeah. Moving
So-
on.
Once Fortune is in, it's pretty hard for people to get out.
Mm. Yeah.
She has good resets. She really does.
Yeah, she
She does.
she's definitely a really good character, and one of the most played character in this tournament, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Fortune Gang was a thing.
yeah, Fortune Gang. We had Ravioli, Toffel, BuzzerZero, you, and Bombad playing Fortune. So it was quite a pack. The most popular character among Viennality. Fortune Ganger is up. So the final match in winner semis was me against Big Band Pro 69, which went 3-1. That one game was a perfect, and that one game was the first game where I went solo squiggly, and I was like, alright, time to play brass, and brass it is, and that's what I believed up until I found him again in top 4.
So it's just like last year.
Pretty much.
It's just like last year where you beat him in pools, and then he gets his revenge in top 4.
Last year I actually got beat by Sanji and Nephros.
Okay. I thought you. Okay, no, because I thought he beat you in last year.
I don't recall that. I thought it was Sanji.
Okay, my bad.
Anyway.
I don't remember it either.
Yep, so...
Well, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and to me...
Well, we will talk about that when we talk about your match.
On top 4.
Finals.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay, so... Now we have losers quarterfinals to get the final ticket for top 4. We have Ravioli going 3-0 against Rex. Well done.
Yep.
Well done.
Yep.
You defeated one of the ancient gods of EUSGC. You deserve your place, and he didn't got Rotag in the face. Like, at least he protected the face and used it as a weapon, as head-on Fortune. Pow.
But you know, as I mentioned that in the commentary. I just found funny that Ravioli switched to hitbox, and when he did, it really felt like, oh, I need a better controller to win. And then he comes and say, no, I take my controller for Skullgirls because I'm not used to the hitbox. And then he does his best tournament yet ever. So it felt like, you see, it's not the controller.
Yeah. He will work on his hitbox, I believe. So that
He's gonna switch completely on it.
yes, so he might become unstoppable, unleashing the ultimate controller. We will see.
Can he stop Poivre?
Can he stop Poivre? I mean, as long as Poivre is being stopped himself by staying at home. I mean,
Yeah. I started to talk about Poivre to the VDV guys, and they're like, "Who the hell is this guy? We never heard about him."
Yeah.
And I said, "It's in English, it's Mr. Pepper." And they're like, "What?" Like, okay.
Yeah. So, Ravioli making it happen. That was really great result for him, and he was really happy for that. And so the other match in loser quarterfinal was Big Ben Pro 69 against Nephros, and so Big Ben Pro 69 defeated Nephros. So Nephros is out of top 4, which is
That was brutal. That was really, really brutal. And Nephros was done already, but he disconnected his controller before the end.
Oh yeah.
So, it's not a rage quit, but still, it's like, okay, you're done. And that's the first time we see this in Europe,
yes.
actually, because we don't do that. It's not like I remember a set in USA where players would do rematch, then they're like, okay, it's the last combo, I'm dead, now we rematch already, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that was a bit of a shock.
Yes, exactly. Everyone was super shocked about it, and
Nephros looked dead inside.
He
he
really felt it.
Yeah, he needed some time to recover from this. And on Sunday, he told me that. So he knows a famous player that I forgot the name because I believe it's a Mortal Kombat player, and I don't play Mortal Kombat. And he said to me that every time they go to a tournament, they win it. And he said, and today we both failed. We got an upset. So, and the other guy is supposed to win as well. So that was interesting.
So Viennality 2019 was like the tournament of upsets.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you can tell me other upsets in different games, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I can't, but.
No, but that was already an upset in SG and MK. Oh, I know the upset in BB Tag. Owner didn't win. That's why.
Yeah.
That's the upset.
Briefly talking about the Arc System games, there was like this King Rasta domination.
Totally.
He pretty much went to winner final to every Arc System game there was, and that really speaks to itself.
At this point, you just need to give him the medals. Like when he checks in, you give him the medal already.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, it really feels disheartening, and one of the organizers that we were talking about that, he was like, we are considering to put Guilty Gear so he wouldn't pester the other games. So he would have his own game to win his medal and then be fine with it. But I don't think.
And the funny thing with Owner is, if he's also as well a guy who raffles or medals, and if you ask him, how did you do? He will tell you second, but he was like he's pissed.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. He sounds pissed when he tells you he ended up second in a game.
I can relate. I can relate to that. And anyway, yeah. So, top 8 is over. Now we're gonna switch to top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
So first match, you versus Sanjo.
me versus Sanji. Okay, that was quite wild because I went solo and he went duo because of since B Burst I went solo and I won thanks to Prini advice. Thanks Prini. Telling me to go solo squiggly, and so I did. So I won, and I did went solo squiggly, and I took the first game only, and then he was winning 2-1, and so I went back to brass knuckle assist. And I managed to clutch it out, even though Big Band died already in like 27 and 17 seconds. So I did play solo squiggly, but a bit later, which is funny to think because I could have gone solo right away, but I needed Big Band for brass knuckle plus opera round start, which I did 2 times in a row.
That was funny. Yeah, that
and
was.
And it's like the Tony special round start that I do with brass every time, and it worked. I almost tried to go for a double snap, but on the Peacock call when he calls George plus a train. And he cancelled into SSJ, but SBO was already there and Big Bandit took the hit, so I won the exchange and I managed to clutch it out. There was this huge situation where Sanji did SSJ into Lenny DHC, but it whiffed. There was already tech rolling out of the corner, and so there was Big Band and Peacock still in the corner, and there was Big Ben, Peacock, and Lenny, and I was hitting all three of them, and I had to snap Peacock in. So I did the happy birthday, which was the clutchest happy birthday I did in a tournament, and then I dropped the easy part. So yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, thanks to that I managed to take it, which was great. I mean, I went to grand finals and it was super great, awesome. In winners, grand finals in winners was really encouraging for me, and it was like my tournament. And so let's talk about the grand finals, and that went 6-0.
No. First, there is Ravi's match.
Yeah, Ravioli.
Where he counterpicked, switched his Fuqua Filia Robo team.
Yes.
Why not? But that was. It's like you base your tournament on another team, so if you counterpick like this, it's almost done.
Yeah,
it was done.
It was really brave of Ravioli to be critical in that kind of situation, because that's what made him win against Nephros. Like he thought about the situation, so he really scientifically thought, okay, this and this has less chance to work, so let's go with this, and this has higher chances to work, and it didn't work out.
But you know, Alex's game's playstyle was basically a brick wall, and that crushes you, of course. At this point, it feels like, what can I do?
Yes, in this top 4, the only person who managed to get a game out of Big Ben Pro was Sanji in losers finals, which was a really close losers finals. I mean, I was rooting. Dare I say it? I felt like an easier match for me to have in grand final was Sanji again, indeed, because I was scared on how he was dominating over Ravioli. He was really, really strong. Everybody saw that, and
Let's see.
the Sanji set was quite close actually. They were exchanging blows and killing assists back and forth. Like the final game was the most SG set ever, where 5 characters died in 20 seconds. I mean,
We also got a game like this in pools.
yes, exactly.
Where everybody was just getting killed.
Yeah.
Merciless.
Block disabled.
I love this so much. It feels like a Marvel 3. some Marvel 3 games.
Yeah, where
Catching guard.
yeah, where a shit just explodes the moment you see it.
Yeah.
You see an assist. Oh, he's dead. 30% gone. in Skullgirls usually you counter call or you just launcher to be safe. You do launcher into jump back, jump cancel back to be safe, so you can cancel the recovery. And but that game, oh boy, it was like every assist was hitting a full combo almost every time, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, so grand finals.
grand finals was a bracket reset, and it was 6 games in a row for my opponent, Big Bamper 69. What can I say? I mean, I'm the big loser who took this.
I mean, I can say something. Is you should have played solo Squiggly. It's obvious, because they tried once. You lost, but it went pretty good because he was struggling more against you. The round was taking the round was taking more time, and also there is a very important point to use for you in this case that you should have gone solo is your big band assist was just like. It was just a punching bag.
Yeah.
So you would call the assist in neutral.
To be my mid
And then
shield
and then he's already half-life.
Yeah, to be my
So
mid shield to get charged.
but it's not worth it. So
yeah.
It's really not.
I didn't got to establish my game. After I saw the set, I already saw so many openings that I could have go through. Bless you.
But for me it was painful to see you not switching again, because I told myself, oh, how is this possible?
Yeah,
he knows. But it's something that I often, if not always, see when I commentate your matches. You are really careless with your assists.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Big Ben, you really don't care, and you are not the only one. But the problem is you lose because of that.
Poor Big Ben.
You have a dying assist and you call it. That's I know it's hard to not do, but at some point you should know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he must not. Oh, he did it, but he didn't. He's dead.
Yeah.
Moments like that.
Yeah, I mean, I will definitely. That's one of the things that I pointed out myself right after I played the final game, which was poor Big Band. I saw the corpse. I like literally the Illuminati point for me was seeing Big Ben dead. And I was like, why is he there and why he is dead? I either would have gone solo, which would have saved Big Ben, poor Big Ben. I I really like the character, but I mean, I sent him to die. Like,
Why am I still here? Just to suffer.
Yeah.
Every time I can feel my breath.
I can feel my.
All the opportunities of fighting I lost. All the rounds I lost.
Poor trooper. Yeah, Big Band is one of the best troopers I could have ever found to like. I mean, or either be more careful but that's gonna be another set for another day for another tournament.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I said what I have to say.
Yes, and he did play really well.
I mean, a wall of bricks, okay, that you cannot break through, and if you try to, it crumbles on you.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
just wow. A moment I loved, it was against Sanji. Sanji was in the corner, and he goes standing 8 punch with a chair, which is slam a chair on it. It's a move you don't see often, but I don't care. Like, I don't even try to launch the chair with an assist like I usually do, or I'm more hits or whatever. No, unsafe move on you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
pester away. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
And the usual insane amount of damage.
Oh yeah,
that,
Beoband.
yeah.
Beoband just hit me.
So what is actually interesting, because he was learning double to, for Beowulf double Big Band with A-Train, because he wants to play like basically Sev team.
Yes, Sev 2.
He thinks it's really strong, and I was he started playing the team in the tournament, but then it turned out to be then he switched when he noticed he wasn't doing well with it, and I was talking with him afterwards about it, and it was basically he still thinks the team is really strong, but he thinks his double needs way more work to work in a tournament like that.
Yeah.
He just didn't learn properly how to play the team yet.
Yes. Which is not an easy task, and especially he was the only person, I think, to actually bring out a new team composition to a tournament. Everyone was playing pretty much the usual layout.
For me, Riley was a new team, even if it's not brand new. But I'm not used to see Ravi playing Fortune and Double. So
yeah, you're right. And that's the result. We got first place going to Big Band Pro 69 with a bracket reset. Then Bigtonney taking second place. Good job, me. And Sanji getting third. The Sanji curse still goes on forever, where he can't get a tournament.
Yeah, that's the thing with Sanji is he never wins a tournament. Maybe I say never, but maybe he won one or two. I forgot because there's so much.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I think he won Hessen Crash.
Yes, he did win Hessen Crash. But it's because when Sanji's top 3, top 4, or even grand finals, he doesn't win, and that's like, I don't know what to say about this.
Yeah.
I don't know because Sanji's really strong, so he always ends up in the first in the few first positions, but not the first.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, Sanji, it's time you win now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the podium, that's cool, but you know.
You can get the final stretch. I think he will.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. We will see in the upcoming event. So, 4th place Ravioli, getting top 4. Really nice for him. He, although he wasn't practicing Skullgirls that much as I recall, he did do a great placing by doing smart picks. That's how I would phrase his result. Then we got 5th place for Rex and Nephros, and this is the biggest turnout in this tournament. Rex doing his usual mid-high placing, which is expected, and Nephros doing his mid-high placing, which is not expected. And then we got 7th place Toffel and you. So like I said before, good job on getting top 8 in your first offline, Toffel. Well done.
Thanks.
And also you as well. You did surprise everyone. Then we got the rest. We got BuzzerZero, Bombad, beat by 38 Ako, and Reb, who couldn't be us. Rest in peace. And that's it for the Skullgirls tournament. Whew, the main topic. We managed to go through it. And now we can talk about what we liked and disliked about this entire Viennality experience, and then we can close the podcast.
Well, I mean, we pretty much said everything on the start. I want to insist about the heat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious that the organizers know about it, and because last year as well was pretty hot.
Yeah.
To add insult to injury, temperature dropped on Sunday, and now this week is pretty fresh. So it was just like Saturday, Mother Nature decided to bring some spice.
Gamers want to be inside. Well then,
Yeah, and but yeah, it's about getting something that will help to be colder, because then otherwise it means that we all should have our portable battery working fan and emit our face when we play a tournament. And when you think about it, that's pretty funny.
Otherwise, I was still not very happy with not being able to bring food to the venue. The thing was, I guess the hot dogs were pretty good, but I actually can't eat hot dogs because of my allergies. So
yeah,
that was rough.
Yeah, that's that's an important point actually, because we understand that we understand that this is certainly for revenue costs reasons.
Yes.
But it's true that there should be the possibility for people who can't eat what's on site to eat.
You either bring up more food variety, or you let people bring their own food to the place.
I believe there was a vegan hot dog.
Vegan hot dog? Was
there? Yeah. There were like two types, and I believe the second one was vegan.
Oh, I didn't know. That would have helped, but.
Oh, okay, I see. But let's just mention this for events in general. But it's already great to have food on site. But then, if food is forbidden, that's a thing.
And the other thing, I mean, I didn't have to say much about issues that I had. I mean, to
Mm-hmm.
me, everything was really nice. I couldn't. I was enjoying the event so much that I couldn't see bad things around myself. So,
I see.
It
so
was
Me, I really don't want to complain about tech issues regarding streams because those are like they just happen, you know. So like when I started to commentate, nobody could hear me, and then I destroyed the mic, put it back, and fixed it, which was a secret tech here,
yes,
and then it worked. But yeah, I mean, accidents happen, technical issues happen. You
we're all
know,
humans. At the end of the day, we all do
no, those are hardware PCs. In the end of the day, they fuck up
yeah,
at some
they
point.
fuck
They
up.
die. It's true. It's like I know that some people might have complained about some tech issues, but oh, actually, there is something we might say. It's no headphones for the
Audio, game
uh,
audio, yeah, game audio during
yeah
play.
for the pools for the stream
Yeah.
setup.
Oh
There were
yeah,
no
the
headphones.
cursed player one setup.
But it was just like last year, actually. Last
Yeah.
year we had no headphones as well, and there was this moment where Nefros brought his earbuds.
Yes.
So yeah, and players don't bring their earbuds and a splitter, but it feels like you know in most events when you play your pools, you play on Zoe screens who have no sound,
Yeah.
so you don't
Or
hear anything.
yeah.
But when it's a big screen, even if it's not the main stage, that's still the most important setup for the where you put the most important matches, etc. And
Yes.
it's true that headphones would have been something to have.
Hmm. That's right.
Otherwise, you both weren't in the apartment, but the apartment was great. Oh no, Oh, you both were actually in the apartment. I
Yeah.
forgot. But
Yeah.
you weren't dressed. Yeah.
Yeah. We did went to the Airbnb as Skullgirls Europe who decided to be for the night. It was really cool, and
What was cool was the guy who rang at the door to say, "Please close the window because you make noise," and then he says, "What are you playing?" And then
yeah,
he said, "Oh, I play
fellow.
Ages of Empires 2, and I go to tournament, and we were like 60 people." We were like, "Oh shit!" Bombad was like, "Wow, that looks nice, man," because he plays that game.
Yeah,
Actual gamer.
gamers.
Mm. Yeah, when you have a guy, you say, "Oh no," he will say, "Stop, you degenerate," and then he says, "Hey, I do stuff." I play as well.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, and what did we got out of this event? Well, we got everyone at least got a T-shirt. I
I
think.
didn't because I don't wear white t-shirts. I don't like wearing
Yeah.
white t-shirts. Personal taste. I
Mhm.
use them for sleeping as a pajamas.
I use them for work and for me it's really cool and
I have to
we
be honest and say that it's a big regret I have that the t-shirt was white
yeah
because I can't buy a second Viennality t-shirt. I'm so happy of my last year t-shirt, which is green, like dark green.
Mhm.
It's so cool. But this
Yeah.
one, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
If it was black, I would have bought it
Yeah,
instantly.
but I think next year, by looking at the trend of the colors that they're using, the next one might be black. That's my high level 300 IQ read that I'm trying to pull off.
Who
So
knows?
so many got t-shirts. I we some people actually got Mortal Kombat related gadgets like the T-shirt, codes for DLCs for MK11 if people cared about it, and yeah, you could have get gadgets in
Oh, I
at the
think
first floor. You could have get stickers and
we lost Toffel.
oh no.
She
Hi.
she's back.
My internet pooped itself.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Oh well.
Yeah. So I saw that download code for a Scarlet costume,
Cold War.
and I mean there are many. I mean, well, you know, I don't play MK, so my opinion doesn't really matter. I think that a lot of characters looks great in this game, but Scarlet doesn't. She really doesn't. She looks bad. And that Cold War is like, yeah, why not? But that's not that's the least costume I would put to a character like Scarlet, who manipulates blood.
Yeah.
I saw free tickets for VDV, for Virtual Dojo Vienna. That I saw like one 3 months. I'm not joking.
Yeah, I think I got all of the stickers that I could have.
Well, that's a good idea. I hope it will bring more people. I feel like posting everywhere. Hey, if you're Austrian, if you are in Vienna and you want to play Skullgirls, just give me a call and we play at the dojo, because nobody plays it.
Yeah.
I will come back to that.
Yes. Overall, my verdict is I will come back next year to Viennality.
Of course.
Same.
Of course.
And
on a final note, I was talking to the Hachka, who is the TO of Viennality. We both are Austrians, so it was kind of quite a nice conversation. And he was asking me if there were like more Austrian Skullgirls players, he could like organize a VDV spot or something else for us, or just like a regular offline, some kind of we can take part with, but we're just 2 players.
can I be in even if I'm Italian?
And then he also said that he wants Skullgirls to be also at Viennality next year, because he really likes us. He really loves the community, and he said he's gonna work on a special surprise for us. So
yeah, which is very
big surprise coming up.
big surprise. Yeah, Hachka is the reason Skullgirls is at Viennality.
Yes.
indeed.
And after last year, the crew really liked us.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's really
Rele,
nice of them.
Rele, which was the Skullgirls TO for the pools, said that we were the only community to be disorganized, where they didn't have to call each individual players, because we were moving all along and everyone at the same time. Everyone was on time. Every match was played on time and reported. And we ended up finishing 40 minutes earlier to schedule, so we could actually get to play the remaining loser matches.
Yeah, we played a lot of matches on stream because of that.
So actually, if numbers don't like skyrocket, which I secretly want, but if that doesn't happen, we could actually go and do the entire pool if we are like less than 20 people on one setup, so everything is on stream, just like we do for Skullbath or Eurofight.
You know, to be honest, and not really being pretentious about it, we manage a lot ourselves a lot.
Yeah,
And
we do get
were,
commentators and everything.
yeah, we provide, like you said, so we are here, we are available, etc. We also, yeah, we commentate ourselves with this round of commentators jumping in and out. This time we were even changing names and scores on stream. We it's true. This is something like I want to address to other communities. Is it's like, I mean, I saw communities who are really dedicated to their games, and that's great. But but at events there is like nobody who wants to commentate, or I don't see. I mean, it seems to me that they don't bring setups. Like we bring setups because otherwise we won't play. In most events, if we don't bring our own PlayStations, we won't be able to play. Viennality we would have, which is exceptional. But what I try to say is, it's good to be more involved. Okay, it feels great. So I know that there are communities who are really dedicated to their games, but now the next step for them would be to be voluntary, because voluntary to commentate, and because it's just
Be
fun.
more
It's fun.
outside of the set. Be more outside of the tournament itself.
Yeah, like remember at Bieber 3 we were commentating Unist, and you
Yeah.
yeah, and it's
Cool
like,
move.
okay. No, but it's true. And also Bieber, Dreamation Derby 5, almost nobody wanted to commentate the Dragon Ball, and so it feels like, why, just jump in. It's fun. Believe me, at first it's intimidating, but then it's fun. And
Commentating is great.
if people make fun of you, well, invite them to commentate next time. I mean, fuck them.
I mean, one of the reason I got to the event, 12 of these Chinese colored shutter glasses that I use to goof around every time, and they brought one for each Skullgirls player. Amazing. Is that it's to show that it's not the tournament the just only important thing, but it's the entire community. It's commentating. It's being walking around and be a presence.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
Yeah,
not sitting in the corner and play your own game, but actually chit-chatting, having a talk, or playing something new. I managed to play for the first time of my life JoJo Heritage of the Future, which
yeah.
which that game, dude, that game is something. Okay, I don't know what that is, but it's something.
It is something.
HD remix when, please.
When?
Oh, I mean, no, not HD, because they would screw up the sprites.
Yeah, the sprites actually look really good. In
Yeah,
this
yeah.
The animations are fantastic, and if they do a HD remix, they will destroy the
Yeah.
beauty of
game.
those.
The only thing like I would want is like a new JoJo fighter in the style of Heritage that is way more balanced, because Heritage is like
Broken
really
as
whack.
shit.
it's a really
This
broken
game.
Like
This
I
game.
loved the game, I enjoyed, but it's really broken.
I mean, you have this fucking guy who says something really angry and throws this fucking boomerang of 4 hits projectile that comes back at you, and you're like forced to down back under and pray it goes away fast. And then he throws another one that covers the previous one, and you're like so fucked. Fucking young Joseph, dude. Fucking. Okay, anyway. Sorry for.
So Also, this doesn't depend to the event at all, but I really want to mention that I had a really fun set with a Superior game with Netro plus Blasters,
Yeah.
and that's just fun. I love it. It's yeah, it has a Kusoge feeling and that makes it really fun.
So I think that's pretty much it for this podcast.
Yeah.
We ran through all the points that we got scheduled, so good job on that. I don't know how much time.
Can I say something special actually?
Sure, go ahead.
So, I mean, personally, I really don't know when will be my next event. It really depends on my situation in the future, so I can't talk. So I can't give the example of what I am about to say in the near future. But I did in the past, since I went to all the maximum number of events I could in those last 2 years and a half. But there is something really important that we should consider as the Skullgirls community in Europe, is that showing up to events made our game stronger.
Yes.
Skullgirls was mocked and ridiculed.
Yes.
And now it's respected. It's a game that people who even don't like it respect. When I meet people who don't play this game, please. When I meet people who don't play this game because they even tell me that either they don't like the art style or they don't like other stuff, they say that they give the game some respect, either for the game itself or the community. So it even went to the point that our community has a good reputation in the European FGC.
Yeah.
Because of our dedication, our presence, and we are just a bunch of people. We are small, so it shows that we can make already a difference just by being dedicated. And on another level, look at what happened with Unist. It's a different level, of course, but Unist was more or less a niche game, and it managed to make it to Evo because people were so dedicated to it that they were inviting everybody to play. I have good hopes with the Switch release of Skullgirls.
Yes, me too.
And I want us to be ready to welcome newcomers.
Yes, which I am. This is one of my ongoing project. Which is making tutorials in Italian for the game, and really broad, basic and simple rudimental aspects about what's the game about, and trying to not repeat the previous content that came out during these 7 years the game's been out, because there are still people that are waiting the game so much, but they don't want to realize for some reason that the game is being out for 7 years, and at €2 you can buy it on Steam and it runs on a toaster.
Yeah, but the Switch, man, it's just they just want it on the Switch.
Yes, exactly. Nintendo.
It's going to be kind of interesting, like how big the Switch community is gonna be, because like we are all PC players.
Yes, and the tournaments are more likely to be on PlayStation 4, so that's gonna be really interesting to see how Switch players will tackle the controller problem. Are they gonna get adapters? Are they gonna?
Man, that's a really good question, actually.
Yeah.
Are they gonna play on the Hori Switch edition fight stick and get the adapter. That's like a solid possibility. I mean, you get one of these super adapters that I'm showing on camera, and you can plug it pretty much everywhere. And but I'm thinking of a Joy-Con player. I don't have a Joy-Con because I don't have a Switch yet, because the game isn't been out yet. So I'm actually the reverse. I will buy a Switch to play Skullgirls on it, which is like the 200 euros downgrade to it if you think about it. And if I have a Joy-Con, how am I gonna play? Like, I'm gonna get a DualShock 4 and be fine with it. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
we'll see about that.
Yep.
Pizza. All right.
We heard some Italian.
Whispering from behind the scenes. So we ended up with a really great question, which I mean was unexpected, and I'm glad we managed to tackle on this big podcast. What's the future about the game? And yeah, I think the post-Viennality, the Viennality post-tournament podcast closes here. And thanks everyone for listening and watching. If someone actually wanted to see me goofing around for like 2 hours, I don't know how long it's the video, but this is mainly done on YouTube for sake of being practical. And yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you, BuzzerZero and Bigtonney and Toffel and everyone who was watching. I hope you had a great feedback about Viennality if you were there, and if you don't, you should definitely be there next year.
Yeah.
Pretty much, if there is one thing to remember of this, it's go to Viennality and play Skullgirls.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
That's it.
Alright. Goodbye. Thanks for listening, everybody. Toffel is out.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye.